The entire nation shook their heads in disbelief when Chris Watts confessed to murdering his family.
That I'm like a witness to this case.
Not just their lives were stolen, their futures and the futures of generations yet to come. This tragedy instantly melted the hearts of millions and continues to do so every time they hear this story. The family's grief is real, the nation's grief is real. One person isn't grieving. If you've never heard the name Nichol Kessinger, let me introduce you to the woman who was involved with Chris at the time of the murders. Did she drive Chris to murder, or was she just collateral damage? The only thing anyone knows for certain is that she's disappeared off the face of the planet. And many of us have been trying to determine her culpability, and our evidence has been ignored. But what if it hasn't been ignored at all? Welcome to Timeless Mysteries. Please like and subscribe. Today I'm going to systematically destroy your hope of ever making Nichol Kessinger pay for her involvement in the Chris Watts murders. Kessinger wasn't just the other woman in the Chris Watts case. She became a lightning rod for public outrage, a villain in the eyes of the public. The backlash against her was volcanic, instant, and unrelenting. Maybe she's not just hiding, maybe she's gone underground. Picture her bunker, its walls thick enough to block signals and tracking devices, a place where no one can find her. All we have heard from her is silence. Is she even still alive? After all, silence screams louder when the whole world expects answers. Nichol Kessinger's vanishing act feels less like a retreat and more like a disappearance engineered with precision. Could she really have slipped past the pervasive web of modern surveillance when every move is logged by GPS pings and camera feeds? Hypothetically, if someone really wanted to disappear, it is possible with burner phones, aliases, plastic surgery, and lots of cash. Nichol Kessinger is not innocent. She's not a victim. She's not some fragile, clueless mistress caught in the storm of Chris Watts' chaos. No, she is the storm. She's guilty, and it's driving everyone insane. The evidence is everywhere. Her phone pinged near the Watts home the morning of the murders. That's real evidence. There's no reason for her to be there. Did she help Chris Watts slaughter his family? A neighbor saw her truck parked near the house. She didn't clock in for work that day. Are we supposed to believe that this is all some massive coincidence? Then there's the clothing she wore afterwards. Long sleeves, sweatshirts, and long pants in the middle of August. It's summer. Was she covering up scratches from Shanann fighting for her life? Did she hide the bruises she got helping Chris Watts stuff those poor children into those oil tanks? Yeah, I'm saying it because this is exactly how it sounds. They found 2 shovels. Look at the timestamps on the drone footage, zooming in on the exact places the bodies would be found. Even if they suspected the worksite location because he worked there that morning, how did they know exactly where to look? Someone told them where to look before Chris Watts confessed. Someone else was there. Kessinger knew where those bodies were buried because she helped him put them there. It gets even darker when you look at her online activity. She was stalking Shanann months before she finally got Chris all to herself. She was obsessed with Shanann's Facebook. Then she deleted everything on her computer after the murders. Why would you do that unless she had something to hide? She was Googling wedding dresses while Shanann was alive and looking up how to be a stepmom like she had a future with Chris Watts already mapped out. That's not just weird, it's psychotic.
Hi. It's me. I miss your face.
We've been trying to crack this case. Do you want to know why the police won't investigate her? Today, I'm going to tell you why. But first, let's talk about what it takes to vanish entirely on your own terms. Living off the grid means cutting ties with every traceable aspect of your life. You'd need cash, and plenty of it, to survive. Experts estimate that maintaining an anonymous lifestyle in today's world could cost an upward of $50,000 annually, depending on your location and circumstances. Forging a new identity is an expensive, high-risk process. You need access to skilled individuals capable of altering public records, creating fake IDs, and establishing a new persona. While legal name changes leave trails, illegal methods are far costlier and come with their own dangers. Even if you disappear physically, your digital life lingers. Deleting your online presence entirely is nearly impossible without professional help. Reputation management firms can suppress search results and remove personal data from databases, but it's expensive. You need a giant lump sum to begin, and then it costs an upwards of $10,000 a year for ongoing monitoring. Even the best efforts might not erase everything. Another method of disappearing is physical transformation. Subtle changes, a nose adjustment, cheekbone sculpting can make someone unrecognizable. Cosmetic surgery doesn't require government intervention. It just requires money and access to skilled surgeons. This strategy would allow Kessinger to hide in plain sight, blending seamlessly into her new community. But avoiding detection also means abandoning modern conveniences. No smartphones, no credit cards, no leases. But this lifestyle comes at a price that goes far beyond financial cost. Without a verifiable identity, you can't rent an apartment. You can't access healthcare. You can't obtain legal employment. Just one slip up, a security camera, a careless phone call, and it all unravels. There is also the heavy emotional price, the paranoia of constantly looking over your shoulders, of wondering if someone actually recognized you would be suffocating. For someone like Nichol Kessinger, truly erasing herself from today's surveillance-heavy world seems unlikely. So how much of this is coincidence and how much points to a larger hidden truth? If Nichol Kessinger didn't disappear on her own, then someone or something made it happen. But why? How has she remained invisible in a world that tracks our every move? You don't want to miss what comes next. Everything you thought might be true will be revealed. This story is far from over. In part 2 of this 2-part series, I'll share something unbelievable. It's shocking, and it will explain everything. An expert with insider knowledge confided in me, and what they revealed could change how we see this case forever. You think you know the whole story of the Chris Watts case. Well, think again. There's a much bigger story here, and it's one you want to hear. As always, be kind, stay vigilant, and question everything. I'll see you in the next video.